Use just two simple words, and you may notice her attention begin to shift toward you. This is where female psychology comes into focus. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, only to watch the connection suddenly cool off, understand this first. It isn't your fault. The real issue is that no one ever explained how attraction is actually processed in the female mind. Women evolved with an incredibly refined social radar. Subtle facial expressions, tiny changes in tone, and even brief pauses in conversation are picked up almost instantly, often before conscious thought even begins. Many men struggle because they're performing. They rely on mental scripts and carefully manage how they appear. A woman's nervous system often senses that performance as a mild threat, not dangerous, but slightly inauthentic. This is where emotional congruence matters. When your words truly match who you are, that's when genuine starts to happen. Before we explore the two words, if this already sparked an aha moment for you, take a moment to hit the like button below. It tells me you're ready to go deeper. The first word to master is interesting, but this isn't about tossing out empty compliments or feeling awkward silence. It should become an anchor for your presence. Picture this. A woman shares something unusual or expresses an opinion you don't fully agree with. Most men respond in one of two ways. They either agree immediately to avoid tension, or they pivot the conversation back to themselves. Both reactions signal insecurity. A grounded man responds differently. He pauses, meets her eyes with genuine curiosity, and says, "That's interesting. Tell me more about that." Why is this so powerful? Because it sends three messages simultaneously at a subconscious level. First, it shows you aren't threatened by her perspective. Second, it demonstrates you have a strong center and can hold your own view alongside hers. Third, it proves you're present and genuinely engaged. Research shows that sustained curiosity is one of the strongest drivers of connection. When a woman feels truly interesting to a man, not because he's trying to impress her, but because he's genuinely listening, her brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. She begins to associate you with the feeling of being seen and understood. While most people try to appear impressive, the magnetic man chooses to be interested. This level of depth and these subtle psychological triggers are explored much further in my full guide, Attraction Secrets, where we move beyond the obvious and help transform your presence into something unforgettable. Now let's move to the second word, and you might not expect this one. The word is no. Not a harsh or cold refusal, but a calm, clear no, delivered without hesitation. Think about the last time a man declined an attractive woman without wavering, over-explaining, or softening the word until it lost its meaning. It's rare. When men feel attracted, many become yes men. They agree with everything, change plans, shift opinions, and even compromise values to keep approval. Here's the truth. That behavior doesn't build attraction, it weakens it. The female attraction system is wired to notice men with a stable sense of identity. When you calmly say no, whether declining an unreasonable request or disagreeing with an idea, you send a rare signal. You don't rely on her approval to feel secure. Psychologists call this non-reactive confidence, and it's a cornerstone of masculine presence. I once worked with a client named Marcus. He wasn't wealthy, and he didn't have an athlete's physique, but he carried himself with calm certainty. A younger colleague once asked how he attracted so many women. Marcus smiled and said he stopped performing and started paying attention. One time, a woman he was dating asked him to cancel all his weekend plans for a last-minute trip she'd arranged. Marcus calmly replied, "I can't this weekend. I've had plans for a month. Let's plan something next week." She pushed back, but he simply smiled and repeated, "I understand, but no, this weekend doesn't work for me." Instead of getting upset, she looked at him with deep respect. A man who can say no, especially when yes would be easier, is a man who feels trustworthy. These two words, interesting and no, aren't manipulation tactics. They reflect an inner state of security. Interesting shows you're confident enough to be curious. No shows you're confident enough to maintain boundaries. Together, they create the quality women often describe as most attractive in a man: authenticity. You don't need to wait to develop this. You can begin today. Practice genuine curiosity in your next conversation and start setting small boundaries in everyday situations. Say no to a friend when you don't want to do something without offering endless explanations. Boundaries aren't barriers, they're the structure of self respect. If this changed how you see social dynamics, comment below and share which of these two words you feel you need to practice most.